This video is sponsored by Keeps. More on that later. Danny.
Jarvis.
I need your help today. Thank you for coming on such short notice.
Yeah, I'm excited to figure out what this is all about. It sounded pretty urgent.
So, the thing is that I'm not a very turnt guy. I'm not very turnt.
Okay. I think I see where this is going.
Yeah, you're the most turnt person that I know.
You need a little help getting turned. I understand that, you know, everybody's getting vaccinated, bars are opening again. You're gonna need to figure it out now. You can't hide anymore.
I figure I would like look online and see if someone could help me be turnt, but now I'm a little concerned, you know, because I don't want to get too turnt.
Oh.
It's kind of like when you don't want to get too ripped at the gym. I'm sure you've been there.
Oh yeah. So many times I've been way too close to getting too ripped at the gym.
And I don't want to get too turnt. And so just by happenstance, someone tweeted at me, can you make a video on that guy who uses a duck as a prop? I think his name is TooTurntTony on TikTok. And I was like, this is the perfect place to start. I figure I can bring you in. Mm-hmm. We can look into TooTurntTony and figure out what two turnt is, and then maybe that'll help me understand like what the boundary is between like getting turnt, you know, just being a fun-loving type like yourself, and then getting too, like, identifying as too turnt.
So we can almost use this as like a cautionary tale. It's sort of like in driver's ed when they show you videos of car crashes to make you want to drive safer.
That's exactly.
So this is what we want to avoid, I suppose you could say.
This is the turnt equivalent of a car crash, yes.
Like in a car, if you too turn to the steering wheel.
Right. It does. There is sort of a double entendre there. And that was planned.
This whole video is scripted word for word.
What's funny to me is that this tweet from an unassuming audience member of mine got a reply. You know, tweets get replies sometimes.
Don't I know it?
But guess who it was?
Colonel Sanders?
Close.
TooTurntTony.
Yeah, 100% correct. I'm impressed, and we'll talk later about how you were so on the money about that. It's you know what it is. It's that you've got a turnt meter, and that's why you're here.
I've got sort of a turnt radar.
Yeah,
I can tell when someone is getting too turnt in my vicinity. So I think that's how I knew.
TooTurntTony himself replied to this very innocuous tweet that just merely says that he uses a duck as a prop, which I don't know. We'll have to decide. But here in his profile picture, it appears that there is a fowl of some sort.
Yeah, I mean I would agree. This picture is foul,
and it could be construed as if it were a prop, but don't dare say that because TooTurntTony replied, "Get bent, fucking ass clown. They're my pets, you worthless POS."
It's so aggressive. Needlessly so. I also like that there's ... dots between everything and not like exclamation points, because the wording is so aggressive, but the ... dots make it sound like he's saying this very calmly with like these dramatic pauses in between. Get bent. Fucking ass clown. They're my pets. You worthless piece of shit.
So would you say that this reply, Danny, is too turnt?
Yeah, actually, I think right away we're seeing some examples of too-turntedness.
I first had to clarify that this was indeed TooTurntTony himself and not just some random account that was doing this as a bit.
I can see why you were confused because the girl who tweeted you said that his name was TooTurntTony with a Y, but his Twitter handle is TooTurntTony with an I.
Yeah, and so I thought someone just made an account with an I because he took TooTurntTony with a Y. But it turns out that someone took TooTurntTony's Twitter, which is like a fun tongue twister.
I need another name with a T, like Tom took TooTurntTony's Twitter.
It kind of feels like a baby who's like still learning to speak.
Mom, Tom took TooTurntTony Twitter.
Yeah, no, I think that's it. Tony's bio here says that he's living for a living. So that's pretty cool. Devil emoji. So it's like, maybe that's a little nefarious. He's living for a living. He's up to no good, perhaps.
You don't ever want to do that in your lifetime, dude. Don't ever try living. That's the devil's work.
And he's the duck guy. So he is identifying as a duck as a foul man.
Have you ever heard the expression, work to live, don't live to work?
I have, yes.
TooTurntTony doesn't do either of those. He just lives to live.
Lives to live.
He doesn't work at all.
So clearly Tony's actions are already a little bit too turnt. The next behavior on which I want the turntedness examined is the fact that Tony, to find this tweet, must have been searching his own name.
Yeah.
This is actually my private Twitter. Tony can't even see the tweet that this replies to.
Wow.
So he's replying to a tweet that he knows not the context.
He seems to think that using a duck as a prop has a negative connotation to it. The original tweet that you tweeted, which he can't see, could have said like, I think it would be so awesome if somebody used a duck as a prop in a TikTok video. Does anybody have a good idea, like a fun TikTok guy that uses ducks as props? And she was like, yeah, I'll help you out. This guy does. And TooTurntTony's like,
so I think that Tony just doesn't take any sort of lip from anyone on the internet. Even if you're mentioning him in a neutral context, he doesn't want to hear it.
I do feel like after you've shown me these two tweets, I've sort of been lured into a trap here where I thought we were just making a video where I teach you how to get turned. And now I sort of feel like I'm being tricked into bad-mouthing this guy that's going to either block me or call me a piece of shit once this video comes out.
I, too, am worried about that. And I just wanted someone else to come to be brought down with me. You've been had, is what I'm saying.
I've been had, but then again, so have you. And you needed someone to be had with you.
We've been had together. And that's what friends are for.
For being had.
Or for being ad. Have you ever wanted your hair to look like the 3D hair helmet of a fighting game character? Well, there's nothing you can do about that. But if you're one of the 2 out of 3 guys who will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35, there is something you can do about that, with a little help from today's sponsor, Keeps. With Keeps, a licensed doctor will review your information online and recommend the right hair loss treatment plan for you. Then your treatment is shipped directly to your door every 3 months. You get to keep your luscious locks and get treated from home? That's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. Keeps offers generic versions of the top FDA-approved medications, so in addition to being a convenient option, it's a more affordable one too. You can message your Keeps doctor 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and you can track your progress with the Keeps Progress Tracking tool. These medications can take up to 4 to 6 months to start seeing results, so get started with Keeps today. Head on over to keeps.com/Jarvis Johnson, or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order. Thanks again to Keeps for sponsoring this video. So it turns out that Tony, I also want to mention that he sells pre-worn crop tops on his website.
By him or the ducks?
Great question.
You think it's by him and you order it and it comes, it's like full of like
feathers. Yeah.
It's like, wait, who wore this?
Okay, it's a Depop store.
Oh. Okay, so these might be clothes that he actually wears.
Right.
And then he sells them.
But yeah, that's the universe. That's the TTTCU.
Whoa, the T cubed.
So it turns out that Tony is not just known for his hot replies to people on Twitter. He's actually a TikTok star with over 9 million followers.
Wow, okay.
Those are some pretty wild numbers.
That's more than me.
Yeah, it's certainly more than me. So I guess maybe Tony can teach us a thing or two.
I think so.
Okay, so I guess that was just a bit of a primer on Tony.
I mean, I gotta say, he does seem a little bit too turned.
What makes you say that?
I have a feeling that each one of these things is supposed to be too turned. I'm not so sure about the duck thing. I don't know if he thinks that it's really turned to own like a goose. But I will say that the beer bong thing, and what he said, he's addicted to dick pills.
Whoa. He said he's addicted to eggplant pills, eggplant emoji pills, which...
That could be like a dietary supplement that like is made out of eggplant extract.
Eggplant fibers, yeah. Whatever it is, though, it doesn't seem like he's consuming them in the proper, serving size.
No.
He just poured them all on his face in a comically large pill bottle.
Yeah. Honestly, they're all over the floor. I'm kind of worried about the duck, you know, scooping some up. You do not want your duck to get a boner.
Or have eggplant extract. Whichever, in either situation, it's bad for the duck.
I think it's pretty much universal knowledge that eggplant is really bad for ducks, so.
Yeah. And we know that for sure. Just to recap the 3 things about Tony here. He prefers the company of ducks rather than people.
Okay.
He can only drink if it's through a beer bong.
Now, that sounds like he's a party animal, but like, technically there are people in the hospital who have like the same issue where they're being fed through a tube.
Honestly, it's like a beer bong with a suit and a tie, to be honest. Like there's...
Exactly.
Where would you rate this on the turnt'dness scale?
I mean, if this is true, I would rank it pretty high up there. He's getting pretty close to a little bit too turned, you know?
Okay.
You have to be able to drink not out of a beer bong sometimes.
Yeah.
And I do wonder if he's... Oh shit, I just like pulled the lever to make my chair. And I do wonder if he's only talking about drinking alcohol, or like when he drinks like a glass of milk, if he's also just like downing that through a funnel.
Yeah, or like water. There's a lot of things that, you know.
I'm trying to imagine him drinking like a really thick milkshake through that beer bong, and like that doesn't sound pleasant at all.
Have you ever had a milkshake where the straw isn't thick enough? You know, it's kind of hard to get a drink through the straw.
You know what? That's actually a good point. So if the tube is kind of like that big,
yeah, if it's then you can get a lot more milkshake through, and I think it'll be a lot more pleasant of an experience.
You can pretty much just inhale the milkshake at that point.
So I just want to stop this for a second.
Yeah, please do.
I'm a little concerned. Did he say you ever been with a chicken, big boy?
Now, is he saying that, or is the chicken saying that?
That's what I don't understand. That's one of the many things I don't understand.
Is he asking the chicken if the chicken is a virgin? Like, have you had sex with any chickens?
Yeah.
Big boy. I guess the chicken's probably not a boy, so maybe, okay.
Or is that a rooster? Look, this is embarrassing for me, but
I think roosters have more going on, like head-wise.
Thank you. That's you know, other than turnt'dness correspondent, you also knows a bit about roosters, this guy.
I can understand why you brought me in. This is a bit of my expertise.
I don't like how he's kind of like it's very sensual, him holding that chicken.
Yeah, so this is sort of what I would call, I don't know, using the chicken as a prop.
And that's something he's never been accused of.
I don't want to have to be the one to say it. Like, this is not exactly normal behavior for what you would do with your pets. So I would call this more as using it as a prop for a video.
Someone who disagrees with you might say, get bent.
And I would deserve that.
Okay, let's see where this goes. It's already pretty turnt. All right, so the ducks walked in, and now for sure that duck is saying, WTF is this?
So the duck now is wearing like lingerie, or what is it? Is it like a blouse, or what is that?
Yeah, it's a prop of sorts.
This duck is some sort of prop.
Well, okay, it's unfair to call them props. We don't know if these ducks signed, or these fowl signed a release.
We don't know if these ducks are SAG.
Yeah, we don't know if they're SAG. We don't know if they're being compensated for their work, or if this is some sort of non-union gig. We're just saying what it looks like.
Tony, if you're watching this, maybe you can clue us in a little bit on how this relationship works, because I know you said that they're not props, but it would be helpful just to get a little bit of clarity as to what this relationship is then. Now, it seems like the duck and the chicken know each other, because she seems to be particularly offended that he's cheating on her with that particular chicken, you know? How dare you cheat on me with that one?
Yeah, she's like more like TooTurnt'Tony.
Whoa.
Not only does this duck know this chicken, but it is also in some sort of relationship with Tony, and there's like jealousy going on. And then Tony has the gall to caption this drama as if he is not at the center of said drama.
Yeah, TooTurnt'Tony's just like, whoa, what's going on between these two ladies?
Yeah.
They need to calm down, dude. I'm just trying to fuck a chicken.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, can I just fuck a chicken in peace? Also, we haven't seen him in a shirt yet, and I'm wondering if we ever will. Or pants.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna have to blur out the bottom of this TikTok?
100%, yes.
Because, like, not to be too graphic, but he looks like he's about to fuck a chicken. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually do know what you mean.
So I'm wondering, I mean, I expressed with the last TikTok that we watched, I was worried about the goose potentially. Is this a goose or a duck?
I was gonna ask you, because some people use them interchangeably even in the comments to his videos, but I would say duck just because he keeps saying the duck guy, using ducks as props. I almost feel like calling it a goose would be akin with calling you some other commentary YouTuber like Danny Gonzalez.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
He did specifically put a duck emoji in the caption. I guess I don't know if there is a goose emoji.
Right, yeah, now I have the same problem with the emoji, is that I couldn't necessarily tell you if that was a duck or a goose emoji.
I have to say, if you didn't tell me what that was, I would assume this is a goose. You know, as much as I know about chickens, I do feel a little less confident about duck and geese facts. So I would...
Look, we only brought you here for turnt knowledge and chicken knowledge. I'm putting you on the spot with the goose quiz.
So I'm gonna go ahead and defer to Triple T here for the goose facts.
Yeah, let's go with what T3 says about this being a duck.
I also want to say, do you think that this is a continuation of the TikTok that we just watched? Because I was saying I was worried about the duck picking some of the Viagra up off the ground. And now in the next TikTok we watch, suddenly the duck is coming in like this kind of like lacy top, like she's about to come in and try to fuck Tony.
Like she was like, yo, I've got some eggplant extract in me. I'm gonna get all dolled up and I'm gonna go pay Tony a visit.
Yeah. In the first TikTok, it was a normal goose, a non-self-aware goose that didn't have any sort of sexual desires. And then in the next TikTok, I don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden she's trying, you know.
I don't think it's a coincidence either. And that's honestly speaks to one of the subtle, like, subtextual elements of Tony's TikToks, which is the perils of boner pills.
Yeah, being addicted, in his words.
In his words, yeah.
To having a rock hard penis.
At all times. All right, let's keep watching.
Do you think that he thought this shot was gonna be like sexy? Like we would be like, wow, that's a beautiful chicken.
Yeah, he's like he can get with that?
Damn, I wish I was about to fuck that chicken right now.
Okay, Tony. All right, you don't have to brag, man. We can already tell you're living the life. Tony, by the way, has said nothing.
Oh yeah, because the chicken had the first line of dialogue asking if he'd ever been with a chicken before.
Right.
Tony hasn't said anything in any of the TikToks we've watched.
We don't know if he speaks as of right now.
Yeah.
But what we do know is his birds can speak. So that's...
I think it's kind of telling that he hasn't said anything so far, but he's also told us in a TikTok that he prefers spending all of his time with ducks. I wonder if those have something to do with each other. Like, I wonder if the first TikTok where he speaks, he's gonna like open his mouth and just be like, wah, 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 and just like we're gonna be like, oh, right. Okay, that makes sense.
I didn't know you spoke a little duck. But...
I did sort of like a foreign exchange thing in high school where I went and lived with a family of ducks for a bit. But
yeah, you were like on a pond.
Yeah, I was sort of on a pond. I would just sort of like float in the pond with them and then dunk my head underwater and come up with a fish just for a summer.
Yeah, no, that's actually a pretty cool way to spend a summer.
They were actually all assholes, though. I would not recommend it. The ducks were really mean.
So now that you've mentioned the first TikTok, I'm curious if Tony isn't playing some sort of... if Tony isn't playing games with the duck by saying, look, I enjoy the company of ducks more than people. He's leaving out chickens in that statement. And so it's almost like he's with the duck, and so he's just telling her what she wants to hear.
Yeah. He's like... I prefer ducks more than people. But the only thing I prefer more than ducks is chicken.
This guy's, he's clever. He's clever. But it looks like the jig is up.
Let's see.
Oh, Tony speaks.
He did, but did he move his mouth or did he just go like this and the words appeared, come here?
He said, come here, and it captioned it as, join us, baby. Did he say join us, baby girl, or join us, baby?
Yeah, something like that. The thing is, like, I knew eventually he was gonna have to have sex with them, like, at the end of this TikTok.
I just didn't think we'd see it.
Yeah, I'm honestly upset that I had to see that.
There was something that the duck said, and I have no idea what it was.
It said, yes, daddy, I think.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So, like, a daddy kink is one thing, but when it's, like, a pet that you are, like, you know, technically, I mean, you are kind of its parent, you know?
There's a weird power dynamic here that I feel like is being exploited between the ducks. It's almost like, and I may be going out on a limb here, he's using the duck as a prop.
Get bent. You piece of shit. Those are his pets. His pets that he obviously loves.
Right.
Granted, maybe a little bit too much, and maybe not in the right ways. But dude,
Were you speaking? What was happening there?
Oh, that was that. I gotta go.
Well, look, I feel like a clown right now.
What kind of clown?
I knew you'd ask. It's an ass clown. It's an ass clown. I feel like you're just rubbing it in.
Yeah.
Rubbing in my clown makeup. I actually don't know what this one is.
Just a Christian cowboy.
And his duck.
Laying with his harem of ducks.
Yeah, he's got quite a few ducks there. Oh, and it looks like he's wearing pants. Ever so slightly in this frame, he's wearing pants.
Ah, okay. I think his kids look a lot more like their mother than him.
It's kind of funny how that works, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if this is just like if there's like an extended lore. Like there seems to be some sort of like duck love universe going on with him.
Yeah, so if I had to guess, I would think that this one takes place before the one we just watched, because this is the happy duck family, and then all of a sudden it all comes crashing down when we find out he's been shagging with a chicken in the shed.
Well, guess what? You're right, because this one was posted in April and the other one was posted in May. So you're a sleuth.
I gotta say though, this one does seem like not too turned. I would say this is an acceptable amount of turn. He's just having a good time with his ducks.
Did we catch him slipping?
You know what? I as much as I hate to say it, I think that he might not be living up to the name on this particular TikTok.
I'm just gonna say it, Tony. You've let us all down.
Honestly, Tony, you're blocked for that, buddy. We're gonna block you for that.
This is just one sort of corner of Tony's very vast library of content, and I want to look at some of his different genred, some of his different types, some of his different content types, because he's not just a duck lover.
He's also a chicken lover.
He's also a chicken lover, and he's also living for a living.
Oh yeah, I guess we haven't really seen what that is supposed to mean yet.
Yeah, and so I think we might, though. There are for sure some of these TikToks that we can't watch all of them, or I'll have to censor them heavily.
Okay.
Hey, Tony, if you hit that putt, you can spit in our mouths.
So this has to be one of the ones that you have to censor, right?
Yeah. I think you can tell just from the description of the sort of prank that he's doing, or prank challenge that he's doing. It doesn't seem like a very difficult putt. Also, is this a legal golf swing?
I think that they just added this, yeah.
Okay, in the DLC.
Yeah, this is the new golf expansion.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
The billiards expansion.
Boom, ba-doom. Sometimes all I think about is spit, lean down in the middle of shit.
That couldn't be spit, right?
In fact, I think it's like water or something. Unless he's like really full of, he could be part duck. We don't know. Maybe he's got like some sort of water reserves going on. So I've done a little bit of digging on my own, and I found that Tony also has a a cast of characters in his video. It seems to me like he's got a reality show vibe where his parents and his sister are involved. And he likes to prank them.
Okay.
Video isn't available. Fantastic.
Did he just delete it?
He does delete a lot of...
Maybe he just blocked you. He caught wind that we were making this video and he blocked you on the spot.
He heard it through the airwaves.
Oh shit, you know what, dude? There's a duck perched on my windowsill looking in with a walkie-talkie.
Dude, Tony.
He knows.
He's on to us. He's on to us.
So my baby chickens really wanted to meet my mom, but my mom was taking a nap. We decided fuck it.
There was a girl in that TikTok. Did she do anything?
I'm not going to say that she was a prop, but she is literally being used as a table.
She's not my prop, okay? She's my pet.
She's wearing a ski mask, all right?
I just can't figure out why she was in the TikTok at all. Like, that prank was not a two-person job. He just carried a cage into a room and then opened the cage.
But what's a prank if you're not accompanied by a model in a ski mask?
What's a prank without a butt? I mean, you got me there.
What's a prank without a butt?
It's like when teachers tell you to have like an attention grabber at the start of your essay. Like the TikTok started with a chicken on a butt, and that I was hooked.
It's true. That's the thumbnail, and so people are like, I want to see how this chicken on a butt pans out.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed. He pretty much took the chicken off of the butt right away. I thought it was gonna maybe stay on for a little bit longer, and that was gonna be the prank. Is like we're pranking this butt by putting a chicken on it.
Which honestly, that would have been a pretty good prank.
Epic chicken prank on my model friend's butt.
So I brought my duck grocery shopping. This is what happened.
So he's going shopping with his duck.
Yes.
That's normal.
For him, yeah, I assume it is.
Then this male Karen kicked me out.
I think you are shopping naked. No, come on, guys. Seriously.
Right, really?
I'm gonna call the cops.
This fucking male Karen or manager of the grocery store said I can't be naked in aisle 22.
Dude, anyone who works for a living and doesn't live for a living is a fucking Karen.
Especially when like you can't just run amok at their workplace.
Honestly, I'm about 2 seconds away from trying to dox this dude.
Yeah, we gotta sick our rabid fan base, figure out who that guy is, and then give him a piece of our mind, our naked mind. Justice for Tony.
Yeah, let's waltz into this grocery store butt-ass naked and tell him what for.
Mom, come here. I took Dad golfing yesterday. Watch.
Hey, Gordy.
Oh my God, why is that fucking whore there?
I guess that was like a little bit of a commentary TikTok.
Yeah, it's like a little reaction video.
I've never actually seen this before.
I'm hesitant to say commentary because there was commentary, but it was very mean.
It seems that his mom, as I have identified, is very vulgar in how she speaks.
And does not seem to like these masked girls that Tony brings around.
Oh, doesn't she?
Oh my God. Get the fuck out of here!
You said you were going out.
Fuck you! Is this bitch seriously laughing? Why are you filming me again? And who's that bitch over there? Get these whores out of my house!
I love that cut of just like, who's that bitch over there? And it's just like, ah!
And who's that bitch over there?
Okay, so this seems so staged to me, and let me say why.
Okay.
The mom, who is extremely pissed off, it lets the cameraman get so close to her face. I feel like she'd be like, stop filming me. It seems like in some shots, the camera's like literally right here.
Right.
The cameraman's constantly like going like this around her. I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you so close to my face?
I'm curious who the cameraman is in a lot of these situations, because it sounds like it's the dad.
You know what? Maybe the reason it's moving around so much is because it's like a goose holding it in its mouth, and it's like, sort of flapping around in the air.
You said you saw one looking out your window with a surveillance device. Was that perhaps an iPhone?
It was actually like a Canon 5D.
Oh, okay. So this is like that's kind of tough for a bird to hold.
It was a savvy duck. It definitely knew its way around. It was zooming in with the lens and everything.
Wow, I can't even imagine how that would work.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe what I saw.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
This is the last one we're gonna watch. All right.
Okay.
This is a prank on his sister, a character we have not yet seen.
So my sister was supposed to work for me all day today, but she partied a little too hard last night. Been hungover, passed out on the boat all day. So we're gonna give her a little buddy and send her on a little trip. And Sleeping Beauty has awoken.
I feel like she probably died out there.
The reason I wanted to show you that is because I just want to let anybody who's watching this know that his sister is still out at sea and could probably use some help.
Yeah, if you see like a boat with a girl and a chicken on it that's just sort of like drifting.
Maybe she's screaming, I don't know how to drive the boat.
There's a fucking chicken.
Just so you know, that's like, you should probably help her out.
You should probably stay away from that boat.
Definitely endangering the animal, no?
Yeah, I mean, can chickens swim? I don't know.
Look, I don't know, and I'm of two minds here. Either the sister knows what she's doing with the chicken, and the chicken is a prop, so to speak, in this video.
No.
Or, hear me out, they're endangering the animal.
Yeah, chickens, I mean, they can't necessarily fly, so it can't fly back to shore, but it can do like a little flutter off of the boat
that's your opinion,
and then just land.
right?
The chickens can't fly?
Yeah, man. That's not cool of you.
Do you have a different opinion about that?
I just think a chicken, if they just believe, then why couldn't they fly?
If they were to just pull themselves up by their bootstraps, dude, they'd be able to fly.
Exactly.
It's all about hard work. Anybody can fly with hard work.
Anybody can do it. That's all I'm trying to say here. That's what Tony's trying to say, I think. The chicken is going to fly them to safety.
The whole boat.
the whole
It's going to jump into the water, swim under the boat, and then fly back to shore.
What's our final judgment, Danny?
Honestly, Jarvis, I say this because I care about you. Okay. I would not recommend getting as turned as Tony. I think, you know what? I think your intentions are in the right place. You want to get turned. I think that's all good and fun. You know, maybe just try like, you know, like something like this. Like this is like an appropriate amount of turn. Like if you just kind of do this. Yeah, see, there you go. But I mean, you don't need to own it.
And then I take off my shirt.
No.
Okay.
Just sort of, you know, if you're at a club or a bar or something, you know, you can have a couple drinks and do some dancing. That would be really nice.
And then I make out with my duck?
No, dude. No, I mean, if you've got like a girlfriend or something, you know, make out with her. Make out, you know, humans. That's great. That's an appropriate level of turned, I would say.
But I put a ski mask on her.
I mean, if that, you know, I'm not going to say what... I can't dictate what happens between you and the girl. If she wants to wear a ski mask, that's fine. But that right there, that's good. That's an appropriate amount of turn.
Awesome. Because all of these sold things on Depop, I bought them.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Yeah, good for you. I think that's still appropriate.
Okay, well, Danny, you've taught me a lot today. I don't think I could have made it this far without you, to be honest.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no problem.
Did you just quack?
You know, when you're bilingual like me, sometimes you forget what language you're supposed to be talking in. So I just, you know, a quick quack on accident. My bad.
Okay. Well, fly away, my sweet little bird.